Okay, here we are.
At the end.
At the end.
Although I got a haircut.
And I did too. There.
We're now fancier for the ending, obviously. So closet flanges in. We've got our nice finished floor in, and we are just moving things around. So we haven't actually secured the closet flange, so you can still see there's a little bit of movement around, which is good. The actual wax ring, or the bolts that actually stick up that you screw to the toilet down to, fit in the big end and then slide down to here on either side. Now obviously if you want the toilet straight this way, you're going to want to screw on either side. Now we can rotate this around, but we basically want this hole and this hole to basically be at a 90-degree angle with, you know, the back wall. But because that's exactly where the other one was, there were large holes drilled in each of these previously on the subfloor below. So in order to actually miss those holes and try and get new holes, we're actually moving it. So now instead of the bolt being stuck right at the end, the bolt's now going to be this way and this way. So we're just going to now screw these holes in here so that we can actually, we have a masonry bit sitting on here, has a bigger head on it that's actually meant to drill through tile and stone and whatnot. So I'm going to use that to drill a hole. We chose it for its size to be slightly smaller. No focusing.
That's focusing fine now.
So slightly smaller than that screw. So we're going to drill a small pilot hole. If it's not that big, then we get another drill and we just keep working until we're dead.
Until we get one.
So.
And Gavin's not tired at all. He fixed his neighbor's house. Pretty much built the whole house.
If I fall asleep
earlier today.
Okay.
Maybe just the side of the house.
Possibly. It's a small drill bit, and I don't want to put too much pressure. The whole drill bit would just snap. So I'm kind of being gentle, and this kind of might take a while. But
I might not record the entire thing. We are finished securing this with all 6 screws, but we did have some casualties. Is this one ruined? Or this one's just dull?
That one's just dull.
25.
Didn't we say these were 25 apiece?
Oh, I thought it was fuzzy.
So we went and bought. Allison picked up focus. That's annoying.
Diamond blades.
Yeah, so a diamond
About 2 of
tipped.
them you guys refuse to use.
There, now it's focusing.
For an occasion that you want to remember.
Yeah, so anyways, there we go. But we didn't open it because we were stubborn.
Huh?
Try not to use these.
Garbage?
Yeah.
So
All right.
should I make a sculpture with it?
Time to put the toilet in. Make a sculpture.
No.
Time for pee pipes.
Oh, not the toilet. We're putting in the
Sink.
sink first. All right. You put the pee pipe on first?
Yeah. To make sure the drain lines up and everything. So pedestals are always complicated, hard to figure out what to do first. For the most part, we're probably going to want to mount this to the wall. Once it's mounted to the wall, this makes it hard to get to the drain and the supply lines and all of that stuff. It's all tight back there. So we're going to just set this on put the whole thing up against the wall so that we can actually screw the wall in, or screw the sink into the wall. Pull this away while it's screwed in, and we'll be supporting it, just so we can work on the supply lines and all that. Then we can put this back in place.
Complicated.
Agreed.
All right, Gavin, looking good there.
Thank you. We're just filming this because I'm too lazy to actually get up and do anything.
And I thought it was an interesting. All right, we got the new pipes put on. This looks awkward.
Stop grabbing my tubes. So here's the sink. It's the old sink. We actually left the old drain on. So all this we know actually fits with the existing stuff. It's the right height, so it's actually more convenient to use all this. We actually set the pedestal and the sink up where it's going to be, and this is all upside down obviously, but we measured basically from the faucet. It's easier to install the faucet on the actual sink before you install it. Otherwise you're having to reach behind the faucet with your hands up here and you have very little room to work with, and it's kind of a pain. So if you put the faucet on, you tighten it here, and then you put the leads on, now you basically just drop this whole thing in, and it's much easier. So the only two things that we really need to do are screw these into the hot water, or hot and cold water supply lines.
And
then screw
this on. And the drain.
So there are a few things that we have to do, but for the most part we're actually pretty darn ready. So we're going to tip this over, put it over on the pedestal, make sure it all fits, and then...
Boom. And then we're onto the toilet. All right.
Oh, you want me to actually do it now?
Well, I guess I should help you, but...
Hate to disturb the precious camera.
Yeah. I guess. That's a nice faucet.
That's pretty fancy. It's a Giogni. Or Giogni. Gianni?
Johnny.
Whoa.
We'll take that. So
Takes a very steady hand. Oh, those are my knees. Maybe I should help. All right, here we are. We've got the sink in. Ta-da!
there were like 80 steps involved, but we just skipped past all.
Yeah. I mean, you talked it through.
Yeah, so we just set it in place. We screwed on the water supply lines, screwed on the drain valves, and then screwed on the sink up to the wall.
Right there, easy, schmeezy. Anyways. So, now for the toilet.
So we have a wax ring. We're gonna stick the wax ring on the bottom there to make sure that it actually like conforms to the hole. And then we're getting the...
Instead of putting it over there.
A lot of people do put it directly on the closet flange. And then if you don't line up your toilet just right, it might not, seal nicely. So it's actually better to put it on the toilet. You still want to be careful to make sure you put it directly over the hole and push it straight down. But you can do that because we're going to put the bolts in. when you put the bolts in, they'll be sitting straight up on either side. So the toilet will now go down straight over these bolts, and you know the hole will be lined with that hole. So we'll set it up with this and go from there.
And we've tightened the tank carefully. You don't want to snap that. I've done that before. We got the supply line attached. Got the new flapper in. Not that. Anyways. Not that you guys really need to know about that.
They were concerned with the flapper.